Hello and welcome to What Even Are Bookstagrammers. I'll dive into detail in my thought process there, but first of all, today we are building a waterfall cave house because I really wanted to build a house in a cave with a waterfall. I don't even remember why, but yes, I used 2 tutorials to kind of look up how to do it. I know that one of them was by Kate Emerald. I just can't remember who the other one was by. I will quickly look it up. The Waterfall one was by Kate Emerald. And the other one, as far as I remember, yes, the Waterfall one was by Kate Emerald. And the modern cave build was by Paulie Bear. And that was really helpful and also a lot of fun because it's something else. And I will just say that right, I have no idea what the style of this build is. Honestly, I do not know. Like on the inside, I used like desert rocks, but I also used tropical rocks and tropical plants and desert plants, and I don't know, we're not talking about it. We're talking about bookstagrammers. And what's like, I recently made myself a book Instagram account, so bookstagram account. And I'm enjoying it so far because I obsess easily about things. And I like to talk about them with people who also obsess about them. So it's perfect. It's great. But then they all do like their March wrap up and they're like, oh yeah, so here are the 11 books I've read. And I'm like, the fuck, I read 2. And that's it. This year I've read 5 books. How have you read 32 already? It's, wow. I don't feel like, luckily I'm like 30 years old and partially settled in myself. That I don't feel threatened by people reading more books than me, but it's just crazy. I assume most of them are like students, maybe. I try to follow people who aren't as young because it feels weird when you're 30 to follow like a 19-year-old. I know, it feels kind of odd. So I'm trying to follow people who are like at least older than 20. But yeah, I think that's the case, that most of them are students. And all of them have such incredible photos. I'm like partially jealous and partially annoyed. I talked to my friend who also has a Bookstagram account. I actually made one because she made one, and I was like, oh, that's a fun idea, I want to do that too. And then I asked her because I'm insecure and I thought she'd hate me if I also make a Bookstagram account, but she's fine with it. So, we talked a lot about the fact that they have like so many just like props. They have like coins and flowers and everything, and like little miniature statues, and it's just wow. I have no idea how much time it must take to take these really, really, really pretty photos. Meanwhile, I'm just there like, okay, let's throw my book onto my bed and put like one thing next to it and call it a day. Obviously, there's also minimalist accounts where you only have like a white background and then the book. But yeah, it's been fun so far. It's been a bit upsetting in the way that I've pre-ordered a book and didn't get it in time, so now everyone on my Bookstagram account has read it, and I'm like, all of your stories are just, oh, Rule of Wolf, spoiler in the next slide, and I'm like, I want to read it so bad. But, yeah. So much for my Bookstagram account adventures. It's fun. It's fun and I enjoyed because our book club didn't really pan out as much. We actually haven't talked about any books since the beginning of February, I think. Yeah. Which is a bit sad. It makes me sad, but that's okay. We're all busy people, I understand that. But yes, anyway, so we're building a waterfall cave house. So I've actually, as I said, used the Kate Emerald tutorial on how to build waterfalls, and she uses a debug prop from Island Living, but I thought I can't make this like tropical islandy because we're in a desert world. So I've tried to kind of make it look more deserty, but as I said, there's no style whatsoever. I could have made it more tropical, but then I would have needed to put it in like a different world, and I didn't want that. It was too much effort. So we're just going with whatever this is. There was just a lot of, you know, finding rocks and placing rocks, and I do kind of like rocks. They just make things look nice in a way. So basically the secret to making a cave house is that you use very large debug rocks, and those debug rocks have to snap to the roof and not to the house itself, because otherwise they clip through. But this way they don't clip through, so that's very handy. And yeah, I do kind of like how it ended up. The house is suitable for, I think, 3 people. Yes, I've moved 3 people in to see if it works. And I haven't actually playtested it yet, so that will happen, as always. But yes, by the way, if you want to jump to the in-game, that's in about, or at about the 24-minute mark. But yeah, so we've gotten the outside nearly done. Most of it is ready. And it does look like basically a large rock with a waterfall, and I'm kind of proud of that in a way. It doesn't look too obvious like a house which just has like a couple of rocks stacked on top. I mean, it does look like a house which has a couple of rocks stuck on top, but I think it still looks as natural as it can. At least I hope so. It will turn out to look a bit more housey in the end. But yeah, so it has 1 bathroom, 3 bedrooms, and a living, dining, kitchen area. I struggled a bit with the layout because obviously I went with this shape for the house, which wasn't all that clever maybe. But well, I thought it was interesting, and you can't always build, you know, box standard houses. That's boring. So I went with that. And it did turn out fine in the end. As I said, I haven't playtested it, so I don't know if they can use everything, but they should be able to. See, I say that every time, and then I go and playtest it, and there's always like 2 things they can't use, and I'm like, okay, we've been playing Sims for how long now? Why don't we still know what Sims can use and can't use? Then again, they changed the whole scooting over on the bed thing, so yeah. But also, like behind the kitchen, I decided to sort of turn it into a feature and just give it a bit of a like outdoorsy feel, because while there are a lot of windows, technically all of these windows are inside a cave, so the only thing you'd look out to is rock. So I figured, why not add, you know, a bit of greenery in there into the kitchen and have something nice to look at while you cook. I also imagine that the splashback from cooking must be horrendous because it's all going onto the windows, but you know, it's The Sims, so we don't really care about that in The Sims. But yes, as I said, this is kind of like where the whole style took a backseat, because I was like, okay, I don't know which style to go with. I don't know if there is any style whatsoever. I've used these counters, and then I've used like differently styled appliances, and it's just, not to mention the bar stools. They are kind of like I don't know why I went with white and yellow, but I do kind of like it still. So I guess that's it's fine. But yeah, so that's kind of what I did over Easter. More or less, I started it before Easter, and it didn't take me too long to build. I think like 3.5 hours in total, so not too bad. Yeah, so it was quite fun, as I said, because it is something different and something I haven't really done before. And I also really need to challenge myself to build more on an angle rather than always have the like very square rooms, because it's fun to have all these like little nooks and crannies, but it's also quite tricky. Like you saw me fiddle around with the 2 bedrooms and just like the layout for it, and none of these bedrooms are even the same size. They're like somewhat similar in size, but not really. But you know, Sims don't get jealous of smaller rooms than their roommates, so that's fine. At least I think they don't. No, they shouldn't. It's not like in real life. Yeah. As I said, I quite enjoyed this build because it was a bit different. I try to keep it at least to stick to a color scheme, which is why I had the black sofa with the yellow pillows and the weird yellow side table and everything. So I kind of just went for that whole kind of like rustic with a splash of color, I think you could say, which then again went totally out of the window when I did the bedroom. So as I said, it just doesn't have a style at all, which is fine. It's just my style then. Yeah, I don't really know what to tell you about this build. It took actually a surprisingly little amount of time to build, I have to say. Like, when I set out, I was like, oh, this is going to take forever because it's, you know, a cave and I have to place all these rocks and everything. But yeah, it didn't take too long. Very surprised. It was also a great opportunity to use monk beds and platforms. And I really, really, really like using platforms as a for like showers and bathtubs. Like raise the platform up 1 and put a bathtub on there, or lower it down 1 to put a shower in. So that is kind of what I've been doing in all my builds lately. I need to kind of find other ways. Like I did one where the platform was the window seating, which was fun. Yeah, I've also really gotten into building like walk-in wardrobes, even though they make no sense whatsoever because Sims don't actually actively walk into there and get changed, only if you put a wardrobe in there. But then again, they can also just get changed in front of a mirror, so none of it actually really made sense. It's just for aesthetics, how many things in Sims are. Except for the wood tones, because they don't match. Yes, I'm still bitter about that. And I will always be bitter about it. But yeah. And I'm actually surprised how well the wooden flooring works. Now that I'm looking back at it. I don't think I use that flooring a lot in any of my builds. At least not in that color. But it does really work quite well with it. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep the whole stone look on the inside, but then I figured, you know, it's a house in a cave. It is all made out of stone. You wouldn't just, you know, put like brick walls up in there. That would be odd. So I kept the stone look and just chose a couple of wallpapers. I also try to keep the packs fairly limited, but I know I didn't succeed. Because at some point I was like, oh yes, remember, we are only trying to use like base game, island living, and I think jungle adventure. Like that's what I set out in my mind to do. And then I quickly realized that that just doesn't work. And then I used bits of pieces from here and there, and I used like seasons stuff, and I used like stuff from Spa Day, and I was like, oh, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. You can just replace it if you don't have it and choose to download the house. So, easy as pie, I'd say. Oh, speaking of pie, I do have cake in front of me, which I actually kind of want to eat because I'm a bit peckish. Because yeah, it was Easter, and so I made carrot cake. Well, carrot and peanut butter cake, because peanut butter goes very well with carrots, I think. And it just has like a cream cheese topping. It's very nice. And I do like carrot cake. It's just so annoying to grate the carrots. It takes forever. And at some point I want to try and make a carrot cake out of like carrot like puree. Sort of like how you make pumpkin pie. Because obviously you don't grate the pumpkin, you like cook it down and make it into puree. So that should work with carrot, I think. But then in a cake, I don't know. Then it might be more like banana bread, but carrot bread, but sweet. I don't know. I don't know. I thought myself in a corner there. But yeah, so we're decorating. And yeah, I figured this, since we are technically inside a cave, they would need a lot of green, so I try to add a lot of plants. Even though obviously when you're playing the game you can't see the rocks because they are clipped to the roof and not the walls, because then they would clip through. So still, we're not going for realism here, we're playing Sims. None of this is realistic except for making laundry, doing laundry. Then again, I have never set a tumble dryer on fire. So, but I also don't have a tumble dryer. Anyway, I really like this new like slim closet we got in the free update. I don't know, it's very pretty, I like it. I enjoy using it in my builds. I've used it in the build I have for my play family. Because it is slimmer than the others and not as bulky, and it actually looks kind of nice. If a bit plain, but that's okay. We can live with that. So yes, there's just a lot of decorating going around. Going on. And more plants. So many plants. Also, it's so weird how like large some plants are. I don't know why some of the plants are just gigantic. And you're just there like, okay, sure buddy. Kind of wanted to have a normal plant, but who cares? Yes. I don't know what to tell you guys. We still have like 5 minutes left before I jump into the game and show it all from like the outside, and also show it to you with the waterfall running, because I wasn't sure if that worked, which is why I moved the family in to build with a family, so I could actually check if the waterfall worked. And no, I didn't actually playtest it then, which would have been clever, but no one ever said I'm clever, so here we are. It was still, you know, enjoyable to build. I'm always worried about the hanging lamp I put into one of the bedrooms, because sometimes Sims can't walk under lamps, and I wish they could just put, you know, like they do with windows, just put lamps with like wall heights in a way, because it's so annoying. Sometimes I think a lamp works and it doesn't, and I don't understand why, and it just doesn't work with that wall height, and it's very confusing, and I wish they just change it, because I get confused and then I can't use that lamp, and that's very sad. Also the lamp in the living room, I don't really know we can use it, or rather if they can walk underneath it, but I will test that out. Yeah, so it's just a bit of, I hope they have enough counter space. Well, I will figure it out in playtesting, but it should be fine. I always make sure to leave counter space, because they're The Sims. And we know that they are sometimes a bit weird with like counter space, and also with chopping things up, and with just like cleaning things. I don't know what their obsession is with just going to the bathroom to clean things, even though there's a sink in the kitchen, but hey ho, it's The Sims. So yeah, we have about 3 minutes left of me rambling, and also doing a couple of like outdoor things. I wanted to give it a bit more personality and kind of make it look a bit more like a house, and I used these like sprinklers in the hopes that it would make it look a bit more like a waterfall. Well, I will show you in game how it looks like. I don't mind it. It is actually quite nice, and they can swim in the lower pool, so that's something, I suppose. Yeah, they can't actually reach the like circular balcony thing. I don't know why I put it there. I just thought it was a fun idea, and yeah, but as I said, they can't actually use it. I also wasn't sure if I wanted to do this whole like pathway with stone carpet circle thingies, and then I did it and I was like, honestly, I don't like it that much. But I'm too lazy to remove it, so it will stay there. And that's why they have a weird like stone thing leading to their house. But yeah, so there's that. I added a bit of, you know, outdoor space, outdoor living, and then realized that they can't actually sit there because technically there's a rock. So that took a bit of finagling. But yeah, overall I'm kind of really happy with how it turned out. It was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun to do all the like little detailing bits and see it all kind of like come together as a cave and as like a cave house, a waterfall cave house. I did enjoy that, and maybe I need to do like more of these sort of buildings. So yeah, I just have to see if I have any more ideas which I like and which struck me. But overall, I kind of really did enjoy it. So yeah, that was it from me until in a couple of seconds in game. See you then. Welcome back in game. So this is it. I added a couple more rocks off screen here and there, and realized that Snowy Escape actually has quite a lot of really nice rocks. But yeah, so that is the finished piece. I also added a couple of water emitters because it looked more like a waterfall that way. Obviously, this is not looking like an actual waterfall. I am not that good at building to make it look that nice. But yes, so this is it. Through here we can see the little barbecue pit area. And yeah, when we go down, we can actually take a bit of a tour. I had to readjust a couple of plants underneath the bunk bed because they didn't work. But yeah, so this is the little area in front of the house. And when we go in, we can go into like the living kitchen area. So there's the living room. Here is the dining, and we come out of here, we see everything's working fine. They can sit, it's all nice, it's all good. Here is the kitchen and dining. So all of that is working. Can you show the people that you can cook something? That would be great. Oh, we can't cook anything because we don't have money. Alright, now we have money. Can you please cook something? That would be great. So yes, as I said, this is like the kitchen area. And here is our little like green outdoorsy space. Obviously when you zoom in, the rocks vanish, but that's okay. It's all for show anyway. Hello, can you not make... Could you please? Why can't you cook? Do I not have any counter space? Can you please? Darling, could you make some food maybe? Can you just go here please? Trinity? Thank you. Okay, so we can go here. Can we make food? Can you cook a ground breakfast? Okay, where can't you go and why can't you go there? Well, luckily they do have a barbecue outside, so they don't have to starve. And I will figure out what's wrong with it before I upload it. But yeah, everything else is working. So there has been a fire. Great, thank you. We are not going to check out the fire. We are checking out the bathroom. So this is our bathroom. Just, you know, plain, simple, very brown. With a bit of a like sunken shower area. And if we go here, we have one of the bedrooms. So this is one of the bedrooms, and you can technically walk into this closet, obviously. This is the walk-in wardrobe. Small but handy. And yeah, if we go out of here, we can go into this room. As I said, I had to jiggle around a bit of the plants, because for some reason he couldn't get into the bed with the plants underneath. So now he can. Yeah, you can just kind of like relax, buddy. You just encountered a fire. So if you could nap, that would be great. And yes, this is the third bedroom. Added one of the plants from underneath the bunk bed here. And yes, so it's this one is very plain, but that's okay. It's allowed to be plain. So, yep, this is this bedroom. And I will figure out what's wrong with the kitchen. But for now, I'm going to say that it might actually be the lamp. Yeah, for now I'm going to say goodbye. And I hope you enjoyed this build. I certainly did. Even though it's not perfect, I'm still quite happy with how it turned out. So, yes. Goodbye, stay safe, and make good choices. Quick update on the kitchen situation. This is the only way this works. They cannot physically go beyond this point. See, they can go here, but if I click a little bit further, they can go here. And if I click on this row of stone, they just can't go there. And I have no idea why. I try to figure it out for half an hour, 40 minutes, and I do not know. I have no idea. I've tried to replace rocks, it didn't work. I reconfigured a lot of things and rejiggled a couple of things, and it didn't work. But yes, so here we go. As I said before, stay safe, make good choices, and goodbye.